Hey there, Weavers. Just a heads up, a little disclaimer before we get this one started. This next arc, but particularly this episode, focuses on the Undying Empire. And we will be building in character an Imperial city, meaning that we are the bad guys. So there are some content warnings coming up, most of them related to war crimes, oppression, undeath, murder, violence, and all sorts of things. It is done in a sort of goofy tongue-in-cheek way, but if that is not the kind of content you want to listen to, you might sit this one out. Thanks. Game Woven is now proudly part of the One Shot Network. Check out other great podcasts at oneshotpodcast.com. I don't have like a really good intro here, so I'm just going to start talking. And boy, if this sucks, I need you guys to start like shaking your heads admonishingly. Hello and welcome back, Weavers. Zad, you are full of shit. That was great.
You know I'm
Hello.
leaving that in, right?
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's all right. Clipped. Hello. Help. Hello and welcome back, Weavers. We took a little break, but it's good to hear from us again. It's good for you to hear from us again. That's how you say that.
We're glad to be back.
No,
what Ben
it's no,
tried
I
to
want to make
say.
sure that they know that it's good they're listening to us. That's what I want out of this intro. If you're listening 5 years in the future and you're catching up, then you're probably like, oh, that wasn't a short break at all. I just went to the next episode, but I assure you, we took a break for the holidays.
If you're listening to this in the future, stop and wait to listen to this for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, that's how we're going to do
So
that.
that you can have the authentic Game Woven experience.
Or don't. It's up to you.
We can't control you. It's the future. I'm already gone. I am a spirit.
I mean, you don't know if we figured out immortality. You don't know that.
True.
But Tabletop Benjamin knows when he dies.
I'm like the opposite of Merlin. I can't predict the future except my own death. Okay.
Wait,
No, I am.
y'all haven't figured out immortality yet?
If you're from the future and you haven't figured out immortality, why are you wasting your time listening to Game Woven?
No, I'm talking to the people of the skull, but never mind.
Oh,
moving on.
okay.
Game Woven listeners known for achieving immortality.
True.
And if you want to learn immortality, join our Patreon.
Back
Well-
our Patreon.
2.5 of us are already immortals. We're not going to say who.
I'm the hell.
I mean, you already know one of them.
Game Woven, the only podcast.
No,
All right.
yeah, the only podcast.
Well, so that's gonna go at the end of the episode because that took a wild turn. Let me try this one again.
So what game are we playing?
After the conclusion of our Wandering Bridge arc, which ended with the return of the bridge to Zalo to commence the Council of Grey, which will initiate the war against the Undying Empire, a villain that we have been gesturing at vaguely in the distance for almost 2 years by the time this episode posts. We decided that for our next arc, yeah, right, Zad? I heard the whole,
Yeah.
almost 2
Mhm.
years. We're going on 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, so subscribe to our Patreon.
Please.
We decided that for our final arc of this season, we are going to turn directly towards the enemy. And we are going to stare the Undying Empire in the face. And we are going to do that through the power of bureaucracy. That's right. This week on Game Woven, we are playing.
Oz has been reminding himself
Sorry.
what the name is.
Yeah. That's right. This week on Game Woven, we are playing City Planning Department, a game about the wonderful disorganization of city building. Set in an area in the Empire that the Emperor has designated as important, 5 city council members, that is us, Bree, Lex, Rob, myself, and Zad, have been tasked with a mission. Take this empty but strategically important area and turn it into a city in 2 years. And also, don't kill each other.
Aww.
Preferably.
Don't kill each other in a way that hinders the city planning.
Yeah. As long as the city
Okay.
is built, you guys can die. It's fine. It's all good. But first, and this is from the text, of course. But first, what even is? Hold on, I'll do my edutainment voice. But first, what even is a city? Where better to check than the dictionary? City, noun, a large town. Very helpful indeed. Let's flip that book over to the T section. Town, noun, an urban area that has a name, defined boundaries, and local government, and that is generally larger than a village, and smaller than a city. In other words, a city is only a city because of the order imposed on it by whoever is in charge. You, the city council, are those people. Were you elected, appointed, summoned? Who cares? You're here now, and you're ready to do some local government. For whatever reason, you have been tasked with planning and growing a city within the boundaries given to you by the Undying Empire. When you get the chance, ask your coworkers what brought them here and why they're excited to build a city together. Let us meet our council members now. Normally, the first turn is taken by the person whom the table decides is the most disorganized. And so I think we'll introduce our city council members in that order. So, table, what we're going to do, this mechanic is going to come up again. What I want you to do is hop in the chat, type the name of the person you think is the most disorganized, and then we're all going to press enter at the same time on 3. Go ahead, type it. Most disorganized person.
Come
Type
on,
it. Don't hit
guys.
enter yet. Don't hit enter yet.
Come on, gang. Come on.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. The votes are Lex, Rob. Rob voted for Rob. Lex, and Lex. So Lex. And then-
Yeah.
Let me write the turn order. The turn order is going to go Lex, me, Zad, Rob, Bree.
That's what I'd say. So I'm definitely not going first.
No, yeah.
I foresaw this vote immediately. I knew Rob would vote for Rob.
Listen, I know how little bit of there's pieces of gum keeping this machine together.
Look, okay. Real answer was I feel like if we all saw past the thinly veiled facade we all put up for each other, it is Rob is the least organized, but there's no proof. Therefore, I'm the most disorganized.
That is shockingly, yeah. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, that feels pretty right. My immediate headspace was well, shit, we've all got spots where we're a little messy, but we're all relatively on top of
I'll own
shit.
up. I am incredibly disorganized, and I present myself as disorganized. Rob is just better at hiding it than I am,
Which
Yeah.
makes him more organized.
which makes him
My vote still stands.
I just put a lot of brain power into hiding it because that's
So,
what I like to
each
do.
of us has been assigned a secret role. That is our hidden agenda on the rest of the council. Those will not be revealed until the end of the game. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves. Lex, are you ready to introduce your council person and why you're excited to build a city together?
Yeah, I fully forgot I'm gonna have to name this person.
Right. Oh shit, me too.
Yeah.
Everybody
Oh,
take a minute to name your character.
Yeah. Name your character really quick.
Many greetings, fellow council members. I am Councilman Lupin Magmalo. I'm here to build city. Let's have fun.
It is my turn
Beautiful.
next. My
Mhm.
name is Sir Virtaris. I have a long and storied history spanning the centuries as a living legend appointed by Count Zanakostovich himself. My story is a unique one. I led a workers' rebellion 300 years ago. And instead of executing me on the spot, through his magnanimity, the Count himself blessed me with immortality. I now lead his workforces, guide his hand, and ensure that his will is done. And also, I too hope we have fun.
Hey there, everybody. It's the one, it's the only, it's the man, the myth, the legend himself. That's right, it is Croc Chuckwalla, here to build this city. And just like everybody else, we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a wonderful time building up this city. It's going to be a great, big, fine, wonderful, big old city, and everybody's going to love it. Once again, the name is Croc Chuckwalla. You know it, you love it, and here we are once again planning a city.
Hello.
And you don't like that one.
No, I love it. I'm fucking all in. I am all about that.
Thank
I was waiting for the boo 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 after you said some of that.
I already don't trust you.
absolutely not.
Well, hello. I'm Administratix Third Class Lovitus Bonaventure. You can call me Administratix Third Class Lovitus Bonaventure. Maybe it is the hundreds of years of tenure I have over the lot of you, but I'm not here to engage in frivolity or raucous. I'm here to build and plan a city and will not broach any matters of the contrary.
You say you're not interested in frivolity or raucous, but what about fun?
You've already broken procedure. It is our final council member's time to speak. I will note this down for the minutes.
We haven't even established our charter. There is no procedure.
There's just 2 breaches on the minutes.
My name is Clarissa Lafleur. I've traveled to many places, assisted with many things, and I'm honored to be a part of this council to make sure this city has everything it needs to succeed. Because if there's one thing I'm good at, it's getting the one thing everyone needs.
And you know what this city needs? You know what this city needs more than anything else? The thing that it needs most in the world, I'll tell you what it needs. It needs fun. That's right. You heard it here, folks. First, folks, you heard it from Lupin. You heard it from Virtas. You didn't hear it from the Administratix Third Class, but to tell you what, you're going to hear it from LaFleur. That's right. Coming straight from the mouth of Croc Chuckwalla, we're going to have ourselves some fun.
All right, first let us lay some groundwork. We need to survey this area. To plan your city, you'll need... This is from the original text, by the way, delivered to us by... from the Scriptoris manufacturer.
You ever have trouble finding that?
You'll need a large table or working space. Will be blessed by Owl Bear Rodeo. Preferably a windowless office. Ooh, awful. A large sheet of paper or poster board. A few extra bits of writing paper. That will be the Discord chat. Drawing utensils. Owl Bear Rodeo.
If I could direct you to setting your foot in the zoning area, page 6.
Ah, there it is. When each of you first set foot in the land that was to become your city zoning area, you noticed something that was already here. Was it a natural formation like a mountain or river? Was it something remaining from whatever came before, ruined or functional? Or was it something more peculiar? In turn order, draw that thing on the map and tell your fellow council members about it. You're describing the land, not proposing a building, so go as big or as small as you'd like. Each council member draws one thing this way. As a bonus for starting a new city, each council member also draws one road. Now that you know what the space looks like, it's time to find out who you really are. I already know who I am. Let us begin with our most disorganized council member, Lupin Magmalo. What is it that your eyes see?
Question. Am I drawing it first, or am I describing it, then drawing it?
Oh, that's a good question. Should we assign a council scribe, or should we each scribble on the map ourselves?
The Magistratrix has proven a wonderful map maker.
I mean, in previous appointments, I've found that those who have been negligent in their scribbling, I have often tried to fill in those gaps. So I believe, of course, the dictation of landmarks and of buildings and projects to come will always take the precedence of fellow counselors' time. If there is a such time when someone does not draw on our current map, I will make sure something is put in its place.
I got just so lost in your voice, I didn't understand a single thing you said.
If you don't draw something, I'll figure something out.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like it would have been. You could have just popped in character and been like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
If you want to do that.
Thank you, Administratrix Third Class Lovitas Bonaventura.
Well, first thing I found is a series of tunnels deep under where we are building the city. They seem to be almost impenetrable, so I think we'll just be sealing those off.
And what do you mean by impenetrable? Can you not see in them, or?
Well, that, and also like magically, if you enter in, you kind of just come out somewhere else. So we'll just like put some dirt over that.
I hear you with that dirt, but I tell you what. What are we doing here today? We are having fun. Do you know what's fun? Or do you know what's not fun? Not fun is dirt. Do you know what is fun? Rocks. Big rocks. Lots of rocks. We take all of those rocks and we put them down into the tunnels.
Mr. and or Mrs. Chuckwalla, you are so far my favorite. Nice to be meeting you.
While you were looking for tunnels, I believe I found what the Emperor's interests here are. If you will cast your gaze off to the eastern area of this plot, you will see, suspended on the hillside, the skeleton of a giant bird.
Oh, hey, would you look at that?
I'm not sure how we all missed that.
It's staring you right in the face.
Well, that's fun.
We were needing Big Bird.
Oh, well, that is quite interesting, isn't it? We're going to need supplies to be able to adequately study it. I can help us get that.
And you, Croc.
Well, I tell you what I saw when I first came here. What I saw when I came out over that hill, looking over that cliff where that big, beautiful bird is spread out across the side of the hill. When I looked down on this here valley, do you know what I saw? I saw nothing. Nothing but that nice, gentle, flat-topped hill right there in the center. And in my mind's eye, I said, do you know what I see? I see potential. I see an excellent place for building things, for building great, big, beautiful things, and I think I know just the thing that's going to go right on the top of that hill that's right in the middle of that big empty space.
Well, these are all very intriguing. I, of course, followed protocol and made note of the large lake to the southwest as an ample source of drinking water. There are some notable magical creatures which will undoubtedly need removal, but otherwise it shall certainly be an ample source of fresh water for the settlement to come.
Is anyone going to talk about the small town down to the south?
There's already people living here?
Yes. There's not many of them. They're about an hour walk from the lake. There's there's a few buildings. Looks like might be a trading outpost, a hunting outpost. But yeah, there's people that live here. Perhaps we can ask them for help and information about how to best build this city.
That would explain the road that I saw running north and south to the village, which I forgot to place on my turn.
Yes, of course. We did all, in fact, brush over our particular roads. Perhaps we should go back around and quickly discuss them.
Okay, so we've got a lake, we got a township, big bird skeleton. What are the spiral guys? I kind of blanked out there for a
The
second.
tunnels that when you
The
go
tunnels,
in, you
yes.
pop out somewhere else.
Wonderful.
And a hill.
And a hill.
A nice, not a big hill, but just a nice. It's a big hill. It's just not a tall hill.
And then we got to place our roads, yes?
There's actually a road leading from the lake to the town. You're telling me none of you saw that?
I was paying attention to the big bird.
Yes, I noted that your initial instructions did have some preliminary workforces create a small road from the lake to the bottom of the cliff with this bird.
Think I would have remembered that.
I wouldn't.
How do I change the color on this blasted thing?
Council member, let me. I wouldn't want to overburden your brain.
My brain does get burdened.
So
was out of
much so
character,
that you
remember
don't
to
quite
cover it.
sound like yourself.
It's so you cut that. I'm not trying to have a conversation about me trying to change the color on Owlbear Rodeo.
I think, Lex, did you draw a road? I think you might be the only.
No, I had not drawn a road yet. It's weird that you all already had plans for roads before we got here. Super weird. But I'm thinking, let's see. I'm sure Bird would be big tourist attraction. So road to Bird from Big Hill makes sense to me.
Creating a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
An unlucky portent.
I saw that hill
What?
and I thought that hill's gonna have some great things going on. It's gonna be nothing but great things, nothing but fun all the time. And what's better to have a road that connects one fun place to another fun place to another place, I suppose.
That is what roads do.
I mean, roads are the best way to get what you're looking for, aside from, asking me. I'm good at finding things.
Everyone here is giving a bit of a weird vibe. And
I
you
don't
know what?
you
I dig it.
mean.
Let's open up the Scriptus Manufactorum. As you know, each of you have the best interests of the city at heart. But of course, these things are always a matter of interpretation. For example, in quotations, I see interest, best, have, the, all poorly defined in official municipal documents. You, quote, may have the city's best, quote, interest, quote, at heart, but who can say where the bloody beating heart of the city really dwells? No one comes into this kind of power without a few skeletons in their closet. That's what roll cards are for. They spell out your true motivations in simple, streamlined terms that you can understand. I know what you must be thinking. I wish I had a roll card for real life. And you're right, that would be great. We have already been designated our roll cards. Each roll card is designated as either chaotic, neutral, or orderly. You'll find this designation on the front of the card.
I do find it interesting that the government is telling us what our secret motivations are, but then again, we're also government, so it's just all part of the plan. Part of the great machine that is the Empire.
Empire thrives on backstabbing, Clarissa.
I know, and it makes me wonder how you're still alive.
I can't die.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Our tenure on the city council lasts 2 years. Each year lasts 2 rounds, so 6 months each. A round ends when each council member has taken 1 turn. On your turn, you will propose to build or modify 1 building. And in addition, you may build or remove 1 road. You can only modify a building after the first round. You wouldn't want to be unfair to your fellow council members' freshly built projects. What are buildings, anyway? Nominally, they're structures with roofs and walls, but for the purposes of your brand new city, a building is a space with a purpose. Explain briefly to your coworkers what you'd like to build, where, and for what purpose. Also explain what in your city may have inspired this particular building. The will of the people, the desire to solve a problem or meet a need, or even create a new one? Whether or not you go into detail, don't draw on the map just yet. What's drawn on the map has been summoned into existence by the almighty powers of the council, and we wouldn't want to do that without a friendly discussion. So what we will do is we will begin placing buildings with purpose, we will discuss, and then we will decide what to do next. Each of us will go in turn, beginning with Master Lupin and going around the circle. Are you ready for your first building, Lupin Magmalo?
Yes, I'm all ready to go. So, I'm thinking that we need a place for the citizens who relax after serving Empire all day. So I'm thinking a big bar. Maybe like dead center of Big Hill.
Like on top of it?
Yes.
Keeping the citizens of the Empire separate from the locals.
Make sure I understand. We're to assume that the work they are doing in the service of the Emperor is not fulfillment enough? What purpose does the bar serve?
See, all people grow tired and weary, and sometimes they need a place to recharge to better serve the Emperor.
I will tell you this much, Administratix, third-class Lovitus Bonaventure. In my experiences in dealing with workers, the sad truth is, until they are converted into full thralls, service to the Empire is not sufficient. They need distraction. They need libation. They need their minds clogged with alcohol and carousing.
Do you know what else alcohol and carousing is? Alcohol and carousing, that right there, that's fun.
If you think about it, it also gives us a way to keep an eye on the mental state of how people are thinking, feeling, behaving. People discuss secrets when they've had a few things to drink. Having a single place for them all to gather and take a load off and discuss things could be a good way to maybe find ways to meet needs before they get brought up, to stop problems before they can happen.
Well, despite Councilperson Croc Chukwalla's support of this building, I don't believe I will dispute it at this time.
Also, as bonus, it's covering big tunnel on ground, on the ground. As I said, it's magic and we can't really do anything with it, but at least it's covered now, so.
I had wondered why you were placing the tavern over one of the mysterious tunnels. Don't we think that could cause a problem?
Not if you build it correctly.
Well, the idea is with big building on tunnel closed forever.
And they'd all be too drunk to get down and cause trouble down in the tunnels.
Well, hopefully no one knows the tunnels are there forever.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously nobody's going to know about the tunnels. That wouldn't be any fun if they started poking around in there.
A grand tavern harboring dark secrets? I'm in.
Awesome.
And then we place it.
Well, let's stick to procedure. At this time, will there be any formal disputes to Council Member Magmalo's proposed building? Then it is ratified.
You have your tavern. Congratulations on breaking ground on the first major project in this area.
Awesome.
And now to work. If our people are to work in service of the Emperor, where shall they work? I propose that we dig into the cliffs, deep and veinous mines, to discover rich natural materials. We'll have to avoid the skeleton, but perhaps it will serve as an awe-inspiring guardian over our industry. Plus, there's already a road there.
Well, plus there's already a road, and they need something to do. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck over sitting at the bar all day, and we can't have that. Nobody's going to be serving the Undying Emperor from the bar. They got to have some work. Folks got to go, and they got to have some work. We got to work hard, and we got to play hard. And if we can't have a nice place where people can work hard, they're never going to work hard, and they're going to be playing all the time, and they can't play hard.
That does remind me, Councilmember Magmalo, you do also, as part of your proposal, you are supposed to add or remove one of these roads to our current plan to make sure the city stays logistically viable. So, for instance, you may connect your new bar to one of the pre-existing roads.
Connect the bar to the road leading directly to Bird Skeleton.
It shall be noted.
Just a straight shot there, and then perfect place for mine.
Hey, it's quite brilliant.
Question for you, Servitaris. What are we going to be digging out of the cliffs with the bird skeleton? What are we planning on digging out? We digging out ores? We digging out gems? We digging out jewels? Maybe there's some fluid, some sort of valuable fluid of some sort. Are we going to be digging out the bird itself?
Oh, we're not going to touch the bird. That is definitely cursed. No, the fact is, we won't know what we dig out until we find it. But I know cliffs, and I know rocks, I know mountains. That cliff is hiding something.
Well, I mean, now I'd just like to push back on that for a little bit here. You do say that the bird is clearly cursed. I would say rather, since we have been appointed by the Emperor for the glory of the Undying Emperor, is it not our responsibility? Not only our responsibility, but our pleasure. Wouldn't it be lots of fun? Wouldn't it be fun to dig out that giant bird skeleton? Are we missing an opportunity here?
I think that would be rash and dangerous, Council Person Chuck Waller.
Well, of course.
I think the bird should remain in place, and we should exploit the natural resources of the cliffside. I don't want common rabble touching such a grand display. If we wish to handle the bird skeleton, then we should find trained hands to do so.
So you would argue to have untrained hands building these mines when we also don't know if there's going to be anything of value.
Well, hold on. No. You are completely misunderstanding my intentions here. We're going to dig in and we're going to find the ore. We are going to get trained miners, but trained miners are not trained giant bird archaeologists. That's a completely different situation.
Now, Sir Verdos,
No.
do you know any trained giant bird archaeologists? Furthermore,
I
do you
don't.
know, if you were to know any trained giant bird archaeologists, do you know how they would have become trained giant bird archaeologists? And that is that they would have dug up giant bird skeletons. Now, I don't know any giant bird archaeologists. You don't know any giant bird archaeologists. I imagine that none of the other esteemed council members that we have here today know any giant bird archaeologists. So I would propose that we have yet one additional further opportunity here to create the world's first and premier order of giant bird archaeologists. And the only way we could possibly create this beautiful, wonderful, truly excellent, unique, and, might I say, desirable occupation of giant bird archaeology is to take these miners, these men and women of the dirt and the soil who know so well how to take one piece of rock and remove it from another piece of rock, and to give them the wonderful, perfect, beautiful opportunity to dig out this giant bird skeleton.
I don't know any giant bird archaeologists, yes, but I will tell you this. I have a good sense for what it takes to become a giant bird archaeologist. And it is clear to me that one would not start with a giant bird. You would start as a small bird giant You would start as a small bird archaeologist, then perhaps a medium bird archaeologist. Only then, after perhaps medium, large, and colossal giant... God damn, I keep saying giant bird. Only after we get through medium and then large bird archaeology can we then possibly fathom going into giant bird archaeology. What you're proposing is that we start with people who have never archaeologized a single bird in their life. They would damage the bird.
Might I speak?
Of course.
I think we're all doing the foolish thing and assuming what it is our great emperor wants to be done with the bird. For now, I say we do nothing until we receive more clear orders. For now, we protect bird and keep safe for whatever he has in mind.
I agree.
In that case, I have but one request: to keep the mining activities a safe distance from where the skeleton is perched, so we don't have to worry about cave-ins or rockfalls causing damage or dislodgement to the skeleton.
That's perfectly fair.
Furthermore, I would propose that we begin working on small bird archaeology.
Well, when you're ready to start your project, you can start a school of small bird archaeology.
One proposal for where to place mine, rather than avoid big bird skeleton, it'd be cool to have mine be directly through bird skeleton, like straight up cloaca for mine.
Underneath its feet, but not touching the giant bird. Now that right there, that is fun.
Just a thought.
So, to make sure I understand your thought, in order to build this mine, for which we have no promise of return of revenue or profit or really anything other than more rock, we should also create a way of getting the workers and materials gathered and needed for this mine up an entire cliff so that those workers may step near a fossilized bird skeleton which we do not want them to interact with. Am I understanding that addendum to the proposal correctly?
Correct. No touching the bird.
Well, when you say it like that just sounds silly.
No. what we
Administrative
will-
class Loftus Bonaventure. I have one thing to say to you, and that is, what better way to give glory to the Undying Emperor than to engage in a venture of this scale? A good venture. A Bonaventure, maybe.
Got him.
And nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I
What can-
agree. I would like to
So-
dispute this proposal.
Whoa,
I don't
whoa,
feel
whoa,
like
whoa, 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 whoa. I
I
haven't
feel as
no,
though-
no. I have not accepted the addendum.
I feel as though there is nothing on grounds that I hear no. What are we gathering from this cliff?
We
Well,
will
let's
find
go-
out when we get in there.
That sounds like
Let
too
me
much of a
give
gamble.
more. Let me offer potentially more insurance for this idea. Bare minimum, as I mentioned before, Big Bird will be a great tourist attraction, right? We can all agree, great tourist attraction.
Mhm.
Yes,
True, yes, it'll bring glory to
Absolutely.
the Emperor.
great. If we start a mine and we get nothing, at the very least, we have a big tunnel in a cave that could be a road eventually. It could be simply the Big Bird Bone Cave tourist trap.
Big Bird Bone Cave.
The tunnels, depending on how well they're constructed, could be repurposed for things. I can see that.
I think either way, we can turn it into profit for the Emperor.
Well, it seems the council is quite well set on excavating these mines, unless someone is going to second my dispute.
Oh,
It
to be
sounds as
clear,
though-
I am pretty neutral on the mines. I just wanted to give it fair shot.
So, is there anyone who wants to at this time second my dispute on these mines as originally proposed at ground level, not attempting to excavate in or around the fossilized bird? Then it is ratified.
At the very least, even if it doesn't bring us anything, we will have spaces that can be repurposed, and it'll give us something to keep the people busy.
You don't work hard, you can't play hard.
Bonus addendum: anyone who touched bird executed.
Oh, absolutely.
Ratified.
Okay, cool.
Let's
can't have
let's
anybody-
start with let's hold on. Let's start with an offending finger.
A finger? Just a finger?
Well, if you touch the bird with like any number of fingers, then those fingers gone.
All fingers that touch the bird. Any part that
Yes.
might have come up.
But then, after their repeat offense, their corpse will be far less useful to the Empire. We'll be missing fingers. It's much better to keep offenders intact so that their corpse may be of the most use. If we want to do non-lethal punishments, then flogging is always the way to go. Keeps the body whole, but delivers the Emperor's displeasure.
I think we should start things slow. We don't need to skip directly to executions. I'm sure we're importing a great deal of workers. We should be fine, at least to start. But no touching the bird.
Sure, as long as people understand. As long as there is punishment for touching bird, I am happy.
I'm sure that that's all fine. I don't know. I'm always. No, I'm of the opinion, and maybe this is just the way that Mama raised me, but if people do not fully understand the consequences of malfeasance, of poor action, of failing to live up to the high imperial standards that are demanded of them in order to give glory to the Undying Emperor, I don't know that they'll really understand how important it is to follow the rules and how good and how wonderful the work that we're doing here is. Are you sure? Are we really happy taking execution off the table right away?
I may have misjudged you, Councilmember Croc Chuckwall.
It delivers a very clear message.
Brock, I have a question before we hear your proposal. Are you just a fan of public executions? Is that just something that you enjoy?
Oh, well, I mean, like, obviously the spectacle of a good execution, that's part of a healthy society. Everybody loves those. I mean, what kind of society would we be if we had left all these people out here running around, not enjoying the persecution and the I don't know, the righteous end of malfeasance and ne'er-do-wells. So I like a public execution just as much as the next guy, but I think the more important thing is that I'm trying to drive towards here is there's always that matter of deterrence of keeping people from acting bad in the first place.
Allow me to clarify our role. We are city planners. We are not in governance of this place. Whoever the local regent that has been assigned will have to decide what the actual punishments are.
Of course. Send that
And
proposal.
I'm mostly saying that so we can hear your next proposal.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody else who happens to be right here on this council. Now, as I mentioned before, as I was standing on top of that cliff, looking over that beautiful bird skeleton and seeing all of this wonderful potential that we had out before us, and specifically the top of that great big hill that now has got a big bar on it, one of the things that I thought was something that I'd been thinking about for quite some time. Now, have you all been following the Six Knives scene and the ascendancy of James Captain and his little team, his little Six Knives team, and their successes, their great and wonderful successes, really lighting the sports world on fire, really lighting this good old Captain and his team. So here is my proposal. As I said before, you got to work hard, you got to play hard. We got ourselves a bar, that's a wonderful thing. Now what I am proposing is, seeing as the top of the hill that there's taken, what I'm thinking is maybe just a bit up to the north of this hill, probably in easy view and easy walking distance of that bar, we build ourselves one of the Empire's finest, and I mean the biggest and the fanciest and the biggest and the finest Six Knives stadiums.
Have you ever been to Regalia Stadium in the capital?
Oh, I have been. It is Regalia in the city is being out there on the game day where you can hear the roar from halfway across the city. It is nothing more beautiful, nothing more wonderful than being in His Imperial Majesty, the Undying Emperor's city, and hearing everybody cheering for the home team.
One of my favorite experiences that I ever had at Regalia Field was in the towering buildings surrounding it. The owners, many of them nobility, erected their own stands on top of the buildings where they would invite friends to watch the displays from up top. They didn't have to pay tickets that way. It was very clever. What we need to do is if we're going to build this stadium, we need to make sure that it is in plain enough view of the bar that we can set up stadium stands on top of the bar so that people can watch from a distance.
Oh, now there you're thinking. Now we're thinking because we can get, and then what you got to do is you got to. You've heard of cover charge for drinking at the bar.
Oh yes.
Ground floor of the bar, maybe even a couple of the basement levels of the bar. That there you can get in for free. And then all those folks that are sitting down there drinking for free down in the basement of the bar, what they hear coming from up on the roof, up on those stands that we're building on top of the bar, is they hear everybody a laughing and a cheering and a yelling for our teams, for the old Preytons. You hear that big old chant to "Go Birds" from up top, and everybody who didn't pay the cover charge and is drinking down on the bottom floors are like, well, shoot, what do I got to do to get up to those top floors? And that's when they have to pay the cover charge to get to the bars that are up on the seats up on the top. I like the way that you think, sir.
And to make sure, this would not be this strange new practice of having the individual who the knives are meant to hit be some other teammate. These would still be, seditionists and rebels given no armor, so that the winning team kills them, right?
Oh no, we will be playing. I mean, this is just league standard. We're going to be the first expansion team in I don't know, maybe 200-300 years, getting into the Six Knives, out onto the Six Knives circuit. And I tell you what, we build that big fancy stadium. We maybe splash some money around from whatever we're able to dig out of those there cliffs. I think that we can draw folks from miles and miles around, really show up and pull into the team. I tell you what, matter of fact, I hear Captain's contract might be coming up soon. He might be ready to maybe find his way out to a little town like ours. But what we need first, the first thing we need is the stadium.
Certainly planning big, planning with ambition. I respect
Absolutely.
that. Keep in mind that we need to do all things to the glory of the Emperor and his goals for this place.
Six Knives has never been anything and will never be anything besides an exercise of the glory of the Undying Emperor. And it's honestly, it's a little offensive to say that we might be doing it for some other reason. And I tell you what, nothing builds civic pride. For all the people that we're going to have coming in here working hard, playing hard, nothing builds civic pride like sports team. Something that we can all believe in that is about us. Now, obviously, we all believe in the glory of the Undying Emperor. And that's for all of us. That's for everybody across the Empire. But we want people to believe that they got a place here. Otherwise, why they got to keep going into the mines? Just so they can go back to the bar to drink? No. We got to have something that's ours. Something that is our own. Some way that we can participate in the greater project of bringing glory to the Undying Emperor. And I think that this sports stadium is just the ticket.
Question for other councilors. Is anyone else buying this as a good idea?
Yes, I'm all in.
I think having options for people to gather, spend time building connections outside of work is a good idea, so long as it does not detract from the work and the service to the Empire. But that building of pride, and I happen to know because I've traveled through many towns, things like this drastically decrease the chances of dissent while also helping with population control of prisons. Because that can get quite troublesome to deal with.
What's your problem, Lupin? You're not a fan of Six Knives?
If you don't mind, I was still waiting to hear from Councilor Bonnie.
And you shall wait until my proper name has been spoken aloud.
Look, this is not my first language. Your name is a mouthful.
Administratrix third class I can't even do it now. Administratrix third class Lovitas Bonaventure, would you please address the right council person?
While I will say I'm quite skeptical of Councilperson Chuckwaller's planning senses at this time. I see potential for profit in this venture. However, I would not be sad to see it go. It does not seem to be an active detriment to this proposed city yet.
Then if I were to try and dispute this, I'd be alone.
Is that a formal declaration of dispute?
I guess it depends on your reasoning and your argument behind the disputement. Perhaps you've realized something we haven't.
That depends on my understanding of the dispute mechanic. You said we all get one dispute. Is that for the round, or
That is it. It's for the game.
so if I use it and it fails, I have no more dispute?
Correct.
Ooh, baby.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I forgot. I thought it was per year.
No, it's per. I
Nope.
mean, we could do it per year if we want, but no,
No,
it is.
okay,
It is
cool.
for the entire. It is for the duration of the game.
Understood. Then I will not dispute this.
Then it sounds as though this project has been ratified. Do not forget as well, Council Member Chuckwaller, to add or remove a road as part of your planning for this quarter.
Well, absolutely. We got to be able to get from the bar to the stadium somehow. Let me tell you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Game Woven. For this arc, we are starting with the game The City Planning Department, which was designed for the Wasaga Beach Game Jam in 2018 by Keelan Doyle-Myerscough, Andrew Tran, Alex Dawson, William Wu, Paul Geldart, and Raul Althusar. This game also features the voices of Robbie Rowling, TTBenjamin, Zadkiel Vaske-Huff, Lex Olden, and Brianna Jean. You can follow us on social media at GameWoven, support us at patreon.com/GameWoven, or over on the One Shot Podcast Network.